Let's start building the orchestration system, which comprises of these specialized agents that we have built up until now, and the manager agent that orchestrates these agents together so that we build a complete plan for the end customer. Firstly, we create the manager agent. We again start with creating the manager agent instructions. We start by giving it a role so that it has a persona now to act as a travel manager, whose responsibility is to create and validate a trip. Upon receiving a user request, we ask the manager to coordinate with that team of agents that it has access to so that we generate a plan consisting of travel and flight options. We specify the responsibilities of these agents, which is basically determining which agent has to be selected next. And secondly, to determine if the turn is complete and the response is good enough to be taken back to the user. In other words, that the user requirements have been met. We then specify the guidelines for the manager to approve a particular plan. We specify what are the conditions for the plan to get approved and also the negative scenarios which the manager should not approve a plan if they exist. And then, of course, we provide the budget considerations so that the recommendation out of the AI system always takes into account the budget that has been specified by the user. So with this comprehensive prompt, we go and create the manager agent. We use structured outputs so that the response coming out of the travel manager is parsable in code and we can create a workflow around that. So the structured output is simple. It just contains 3 parameters. One is to indicate whether the plan has been approved or not. In other words, whether the user requirements have been met or not. Then the detailed response or the comments from the travel manager based on the context that has been accumulated so far. And then the next agent, which should pick up the task of processing the request. With this, we create the manager agent. Notice we have specified the output type to be travel plan details because that is what we are parsing at the end of the day to build a workflow around the complete system. So again, we start with the query, which is a comprehensive query now. Up until now, we were asking about flights and hotels individually. But as you can see here, we have now queried the system about both hotels and flights. And we have also increased the budget to $2,000 because possibly that is what you need if you want to travel to New York for 4 days. And then we have asked it to create a comprehensive travel plan. Then we start building the flow, which will enable the travel manager to 1, select the next agent, 2, determine if the turn is complete, and if not, delegate the task to the next agent. So it's a simple for loop for now, which runs until the plan is approved or the next agent keeps getting selected. If the next agent is flight agent as determined by the manager, we select that. If it's hotel agent, we select that and ultimately run that particular agent. And finally, after these individual specific agents or the specialized agents have been invoked, we take that thread back to the manager and see that all the requirements have met or not. If they haven't been met so far, we continue to execute the loop where the manager gets to pick the next agent as to what has left so far. And ultimately, the hope is that the plan will get approved and we'll have something that meets the user's requirements and the response can be taken back to them. Next, the manager still determines that the plan is not ready to be taken back to the user because it contains flight details, but the hotel details are yet to be figured out. So it selects the hotel agent next to basically take up this context and start executing. The hotel agent then again acting on user requirements. The hotel agent comes up with the hotel recommendations for the user's stay in New York, given their requirement for a 4-night stay. Then after this, the manager determines that the plan has been approved, as now it includes both the information for the flight and the hotels, and it also checks whether it fits in the total budget. And since it lists down, individual cost prices for both flights and hotels, and their sum is less than what the user had asked for as part of the budget, it determines that the plan is approved and the response can be taken back to the user. So in this way, we saw that how a dynamic system adapting based on user requirements can make use of expert agents to weave a plan that can solve complex problems and cater to complex requirements that the user may have. So in this way, we can mimic a real-world use case of travel planning agency and achieve it using a group of agents. The best part probably about this is nothing of this is hard-coded, and all the steps are determined dynamically by the travel manager based on the context that has been received from the user.